5 times the world ended. Getting right into it.
Let's start with the oldest of the five and work our way towards the most recent mass extinction. Number 5, the Andor Division extinction. 444 million years ago, the world looked very different. The planet didn't have trees, plants, or animals on land, and Earth looked something like this, which is clearly wrong and not where they were supposed to be. But inside the ocean, it was a different story. It was packed with species and thriving. During this time, most of the marine life lived in warm, shallow
I feel like I've seen this moon somewhere before. Hold on. What are we watching? 5 times the world ended. What is this moon from? What is this moon from? I feel like I've seen it before. Oh, it's from Zelda. Majora's Mask. Oh. The more you know.
Let's start with the most
Okay, nope, that's not the right video.
seas. Here are some of the animals you could expect to see during this time period: trilobites, brachiopods, bryozoans, crinoids, and nautilus, just to name a
That's the thing for Minecraft.
few. And don't bother double checking my pronunciation. I can tell you now, I easily nailed over half of them. But just when these animals began to get comfortable, everything changed.
Yo, it's Kabutops. Kabuto? Kabu? That's a Pokemon.
The coastlines where the majority of life existed slowly began to retreat year after year. The winters began to get longer and harsher, and the ice that formed took longer to melt. But eventually, the winters got so severe that
It's doing
the
the
ice
exact
stopped
opposite
melting
right now.
altogether. The planet went into a severe ice age that lasted anywhere from 200,000 to
Italy gonna
400,000
be
years.
underwater, bro.
You see, the giant continent of Gondwana had drifted over the South Pole, and when snow fell onto the land, combined with the Earth's cooling, the snow didn't melt. Then year after year, the
The
snow
Ice Age.
compressed into
It's Ice Age. Oh my gosh. Woolly Mammoth.
large glaciers, which would otherwise have flowed into the ocean, lowering sea levels. The very few life forms that survived the Ice Age eventually adapted to the new climate and began to thrive once again.
You know, I really hope nothing like the Ice Age ever happens again. I don't think I could do this. Minnesota got snow again today, bro. I don't think I can do this anymore, bro. I need to get out of Minnesota fast. Fast, dude. I can't do this anymore. I can't deal with the snow anymore, bro. It's so genuinely annoying how much snow we get in this stupid state, bro. Why? Why?
But just when they began to get comfortable, you guessed it, everything changed. Temperatures began to rise, ice melted, sea levels rose, and the oceans became low in oxygen, leading to another mass extinction of life that was
Yo, now that little creep on the bottom's living great.
not adapted to the
That's
increasing
crazy
warming
snow.
climate and changing
Yeah, how
environment.
did we get
In the
snow?
end,
It's
around
crazy. I don't
85% of
understand
all
it, bro.
marine species on Earth died, making this event the second largest mass extinction in our planet's history. Number 4, the late Devonian extinction. 360 million years ago, Earth had another massive extinction that changed the planet forever. During the Devonian period, Earth was going through many changes. The first true forests appeared and were quickly spreading. Plants were diversifying, and soil formation was increasing like never before, thanks to deep root systems. At this time, Earth looked something like this. Sea levels had risen once again, allowing life to thrive in shallow
Why is
waters.
the
Let's take a
Nautilus
look
digging
at
in
some
its
of the strange
butt?
animals that inhabited the seas. Now, obviously, I could just show you the fossilized remains of these animals and move on. But don't forget, I'm one of the most historically accurate artists of the 21st century.
Thank
so I
you,
might as
bro.
well show you what these animals really look like. Dunkleosteus was a large
That's close
armored
enough.
fish that was among the top predators. Titanichthys was one of the first filter feeding
Uh, I think he's a little off.
fish. The Cladosalaki was regarded as
Okay,
one
I've
of the
seen
first
that. That's
true
that's.
sharks.
I've seen that before.
Eurypterid, also known as sea scorpions. I don't have a fact for that one, but I just thought they were really cool. Then, of
Okay.
course, there were the boring animals like brachiopods and trilobites, among many others. But perhaps the
Kabutops.
more interesting animals were those that were briefly exiting the ocean and waddling onto land. Animals
Us. That was us. By the way, that was us.
like the Tiktaalik, Acanthostega, and Ichthyostega. But the good times couldn't last forever. As forests spread across the land, trees began to pull large amounts of CO2 out of the air, cooling the planet. The trees' deep and intricate root systems expanded, breaking down rock and soil. Rain carried those nutrients into rivers and finally into the ocean. The extra nutrients caused massive algae blooms, using up the oxygen in the water and creating large dead zones where animals could no longer survive, essentially suffocating them. Around 75% of all species went extinct. Number 3, the Permian-Triassic extinction. 250 million years ago, Earth finally became interesting. Gone were the times of ocean bugs and
What do you mean Earth finally became interesting, bro? Was the Ice Age not interesting? What? What's he talking about, bro? What's the woolly mammoth's name in Ice Age? I don't know, but that movie was really interesting. I don't know what he's talking about. I think he's hallucinating. I do think so. Because the Ice Age is a very interesting movie. Still holds up. Never mind.
silly looking fish. And we finally got something that is actually fun to draw. The Permian period was awesome. The oceans were teeming with life and the long awaited land expansion was finally released, allowing hundreds of animals to roam across it. This is what the planet looked like during this time period. Nearly all land joined forces to create Pangaea, a supercontinent. The weather was hot,
supercontinent.
dry,
Ooh,
and got more
this is where the
unbearable further
dinosaurs
away
were,
into the continent. The
think.
oceans were full of life and contained all the usual suspects: brachiopods, ammonoids, crinoids, reefs, trilobites, cartilaginous fish, ray fin fish, and lobe fin fish.
See, I fuck with the shark looking thing.
Trilobites, cartilaginous fish.
The cartilaginous fish. That's tough, bro. That might be my favorite thing that I've seen all day. That's a lie.
Ray fin fish, and lobe fin fish, just to name a few. Land was now completely different from the last time we saw it. It was covered in trees, plants, and moss, and full of large and dangerous animals. Animals like the Dimetrodon, a large apex predator.
It is the dinosaurs.
Gorgonopsians, a saber-toothed apex predator. Dicynodonts, a tank
Okay, maybe
build
it
that was
wasn't
just funny to look at.
Dinosaurs.
Then there were the first early Therapsids, reptiles, and insects. It seemed like the circle of life was getting back on
Yo,
track.
wait.
But just as the
Triassic extinction. Okay, so this was. Yo, I don't know how the. Yo, I don't know the world's history, bro. I might be a little stupid.
competition was heating up, so would the planet.
When was the
Well,
T-Rex a
even
thing?
more than it already was. Volcanoes in the Siberian region began to erupt, releasing large amounts of CO2, methane, and toxic gases. These eruptions
Yo,
continued
it's
for hundreds of
Duo in
thousands
that
of
corner, bro.
years. This enormous amount of CO2 trapped heat in the atmosphere, heating the entire planet another 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. The planet became much drier. Oxygen levels dropped in the oceans once again, and entire ecosystems collapsed.
So this wasn't the dinosaurs. Yo, is this guy gonna talk about the dinosaurs in this video? Oh, that's the next one. My fault.
Turning the planet into a hellish oven. Around 90 to 96% of all marine
So
life
this is
and
before
around 70%
dinosaurs,
of
then.
all land vertebrae went extinct, making this the largest mass extinction in our planet's history. It has even been referred to as the Great Dying. Number 2, the Triassic-Jurassic extinction. Finally, we get to the time periods we all care about. After
Yes,
the end
bro,
Permian extinction
dinosaurs.
came the Triassic period, a time of recovery and new beginnings that would completely reshape the planet forever. Earth's land still consisted of the single large continent Pangaea and was surrounded by Panthalassa, a
Okay,
mega
so I
ocean.
wasn't
The
wrong.
planet was still very warm and the majority of the land was covered in large deserts.
wasn't wrong. I knew
Out in
dinosaurs
and
were
near
on
the
this.
oceans is where life thrived. Large trees and plants emerge near river valleys, and dry climate plants spread across harsher, hotter lands. Many apex predators began to emerge and take over entire ecosystems. Animals like the Listosaurus, a small pig-sized herbivore. Then there was one of the earliest known dinosaurs, Coelophysis, a medium-sized carnivore that grew to enormous numbers. And just by looking at them, you could just tell they were
Oh, it's the
annoying.
little dudes in Jurassic Park.
One of the most terrifying animals to emerge was the Postosuchus, a large crocodile-like predator with enormous jaws. During this time was when the first true mammals
Postosuchus?
began to appear. In the
That's
oceans,
terrifying
marine life
sounding.
was also diversifying, and the first animals that somewhat resemble today's creatures began to emerge. Animals like the ichthyosaur, a marine reptile resembling dolphins. Just, you know, way more terrifying. Then
Yeah.
there was also Nothosaurus, which was last spotted in 1933 in Scotland. Then, of course, towards the end of
Yo, Nessie's real, bro. Nessie is real, bro. I don't. That was a real picture. It wasn't a log. It wasn't a log. That's a real picture. Nessie was an actual thing in Scotland. It wasn't a log.
the Triassic period, thousands of other marine species had emerged. The
I was
Triassic
there.
period lasted over 50 million years, but eventually the continent of Pangaea began to be torn apart. Enormous volcanic eruptions occurred that lasted up to 1 million years. And just like the mass extinction before, these eruptions heated the planet, starved many parts of the ocean of oxygen, and led to the extinction of around 75% of all species. But even in this nightmare landscape, a small group managed to survive. A relatively
How?
small, non-dominant creature who
Us.
witnessed its larger, stronger competition
was
slowly
us.
die off.
We were
and
under the
become
ground.
extinct. And in this power vacuum, the once insignificant creature rose and went on to dominate the planet for the next 135 million years.
Okay.
It was now the time of the dinosaurs. Number 1.
Okay, I'm wrong again, bro. So this is the dinosaurs, bro.
Cretaceous Paleogene extinction. Soon after the end Triassic extinction,
We
small
were under
dinosaurs
the
like
ground when the
Coelophysis,
dinosaurs went extinct.
Dilophosaurus, and Plateosaurus began to take over the planet. Scientists believe these creatures survived thanks to their upright posture, efficient lungs, and their ability to withstand heat and droughts. During the Jurassic period, the dinosaurs had solidified themselves as the most dominant animal on the planet. With large
Little
amounts of
annoying
food
shits.
available, they quickly diversified.
I'm telling you, bro,
Many
these are the
grew
most
to
annoying
enormous sizes
dinosaurs
and
I've ever
evolved.
seen or heard
Some
of.
didn't. Scientists estimate that there could have been as many as 10,000 species of dinosaurs roaming the planet. Here are some of the most notable ones just so you can get an idea of who the star players were. There were the apex predators like the Tyrannosaurus, Spinosaurus, and Allosaurus. Then of course you had your giant herbivores like Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus, and
Yo, wait, did you guys know about this? Like, that's crazy. Brachiosaurus was thought to be underwater. Their heads were just above. That's crazy to me. The fact that I grew up when I was younger and scientists figure out more than halfway through my lifetime, that Brachiosaurus were underwater creatures, bro. And they just had their heads above the water. Man, I didn't.
Triceratops.
crazy
Then
to
you had
me.
the dinosaurs that were just there for comedic relief, like the Suchosaurus and the Pegomastax.
That's not what I don't believe it.
This is also when the first birds appeared. Going into the Cretaceous period, dinosaurs had adapted and flourished in forests, plains, coastal environments, and oceans. New flowering plants also encouraged insects to heavily diversify. But as we all know, these times wouldn't last. And eventually, everything would change in the blink of an eye. One day, a day just like the millions of days before it, over what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, what looked like a small glowing star appeared in the sky. Not a single animal on the planet
Yo, and this one meteor took them all out.
knew of its
Or was that a meteor
existence
shower?
or had any idea it was
don't even know.
there. A few moments later, that small glowing pin in the sky quickly grew and became brighter than any other star. And within minutes, it rivaled even the sun. Birds scattered. Dinosaurs lifted their heads and froze in place as they tracked the light that was traveling towards the Earth. The impact of the meteor is unimaginable. It's been described as billions of Hiroshima atomic bombs all exploding simultaneously. All nearby
Oh my god. That's actually insane. He said billions of Hiroshima bombs in one place. Yo, that's the Yucatan Peninsula? Jeez, bro. He shot that bitch from Yucatan. That's actually insane. Billions of bombs that they threw on Hiroshima. Like, I'm trying to put that in perspective in my head. That one bomb took out so many people in Japan. What? Okay, that explains how they how they went extinct from this thing. That's insane.
Animals were instantly vaporized. Not even their bones would be left behind. Entire forests were flattened. A massive wall of water over a mile high raced across the ocean and tore through the earth as magnitude 11 earthquakes shook the land. An hour after impact, superheated debris began to rain down across the planet, incinerating anything it touched. This, combined with the radiant heat pulses, ignited forests, grasslands, and anything flammable, quickly turning the planet into a burning inferno. A few days after impact, the enormous cloud of vaporized debris, which traveled from the impact site, had covered the entire planet, turning some areas pitch black, while the rest of the planet received minimal light. The fine dust could have remained in the stratosphere for up to 10 years. In that time, photosynthesis completely stopped. With no vegetation growing, for most, life on Earth was all but impossible.
Yo. Yo. So for 10 years straight, there was nothing. While we were under the ground, being little bottom feeders, living and thriving. We were the reason the world kept going, by the way. Not us, but our like pre us. Yo, that's crazy.
Around 75% of all life on Earth went extinct. In the end, it's pretty mind-boggling when you sit back and think that humans have only been on the planet for around 300,000 years.
We weren't we evolved from like little lizard bitches. Hold on. No, we weren't monkeys, you stupid ass fucking Google. Hold on. I think it was these things. No, I don't want a YouTube video. This right here, we were tetrapods. We were little things. We were little things like this. I think we were like pale little things though. We weren't like green or like colorful. We were like little pale things that were under the ground.
Yet, dinosaurs walked and ruled the planet for over 164 million years.
164 million years. You're telling us humans could live for 164 million years before anything happens like that? That's crazy.